Just days after Naseeruddin Shah commented on the Bulandshahr mob violence case, organizers of a lit fest in Ajmer have cancelled an event where the veteran actor was invited as a keynote speaker. 2 days ago, the actor had said that he was disturbed over death of cows being prioritized over death of a policeman. His comments had irked right-wing groups who protested outside the event venue in Rajasthan, following which the event was called off. Remember that the Congress has in fact formed a new government in the state just last week.
जिस तरीके की बात और चर्चा आज के परिप्रेक्ष्य में करें तो विचार भी एक बयान बहुत ज़्यादा चर्चित हो रहा है।
हाँ, मुझे मालूम नहीं क्योंकि जो बात मैंने कही वो एक चिंतित भारतवासी की हैसियत से मैं पहले भी कह चुका हूँ जी। मुझे नहीं मालूम इस दफ़ा मैंने कौन सा ऐसा क्या कह दिया कि मुझे गद्दार ठहराया जा रहा है। अजीब बात है।
I'm joined by my colleague Arvind Singh over the phone line. Arvind, this is of course a reaction which we are seeing to Naseeruddin Shah's comments just a few days ago, and now an event being cancelled by the organizers. Have you heard from them on what exactly was their compulsion to cancel this event?
Look, in fact, this event, Ajmer Literature Festival, has not been cancelled. What has happened is that on Friday, Naseeruddin Shah was supposed to attend two functions. One is St. Anselm School in Ajmer, which is his alma mater. 53 years ago, he studied in this school and he attended the annual function there. And after that, there was ruckus at the venue of the Ajmer Literature Festival at Indoor Stadium in Ajmer. These ruckus creators were basically BJP workers belonging to the youth wings, and they were protesting against Naseeruddin Shah, and they tore the posters here. But the event of Ajmer Literature Festival has not been cancelled. Naseeruddin Shah was supposed to participate in the inaugural function of this event, but then police authorities informed him that it would not be proper for him to go to that event venue for the security reason. That is why Naseeruddin Shah and his wife Ratna Pathak Shah left Ajmer, and then they have gone to their home. So basically, Ajmer Literature Festival as an event has not been cancelled, but there were security reasons, and that is why Naseeruddin Shah has not participated in Ajmer Literature Festival.
Right, Arvind. So it seems to be a case where Naseeruddin Shah himself has decided not to participate after concerns were raised and there were protests at the venue. I'm also joined by Kavita Srivastav from PUCL over the phone line. Kavita, how do you interpret this entire situation that we see that there's been a furor after those comments made by Naseeruddin Shah and now protests at a venue compelling the actor to withdraw from the event and not go there as a keynote speaker?
I don't think he withdrew. I think it's the failure of the Rajasthan police, the failure of the Ajmer IGSP to ensure that Naseeruddin Shah reach the stage and stay there safely and securely. I mean, come along. The police could not have reached Naseeruddin Shah to the stage, provided him security. I think it's that failure. What we're continuously seeing is the very cool, cozy relationship between the police and these mobs. These mobs who just want to attack you for anything that you say. Naseeruddin Shah did not say anything objectionable. Nothing that he said warranted this kind of a reaction. He has all the right as an Indian citizen to place fears as to where the society is going, to talk about the security of his children who've grown up in modern India without a religion. I think he said nothing that was problematic. The problem is that the discourse has reached such a low level that you just want to come to blows. They tore up the posters. I mean, the police should not have protected that. They tore up the posters outside the venue. How did the police allow it? I think it's really, really shameful. I would put the onus on the failure of the Rajasthan police, particularly in Ajmer, along with the leadership, the new leadership. I would put the onus on Ashok Gehlot and Sachin Pilot. They cannot protect an actor from reaching an event. What is this?
Exactly, Ms. Srivastava, I was about to get to that. Do you think that it's a case of doublespeak by the Congress, where they have on one side attacked the centre for intolerance, as they say, which is spreading across several parts of the country. But in this case, after the new government's taken over, this is an incident in Ajmer in Rajasthan where Naseeruddin Shah can't attend that event because of security concerns.
Absolutely. I think Ashok Gehlot has to wake up. They're just too busy making ministers, pandering to all the people who want to now become ministers. They're sitting in Delhi with the list and not seeing what's happening in the state. I mean, I'm really appalled that this is like a first very small exam. It's not even a big event. Naseeruddin Shah poses no threat, but the mindset of the people in the state. And that's what we said all the time. We said if the BJP goes and the Congress comes, that's certainly a good change. However, the mob mindset, the lynching mindset, the communal mindset, the mindset towards intolerance is not going to change overnight. And therefore, the kind of strategies that this government has to put in place from day one, is something that they ought to rise up to the occasion.
Right.
They have to apologize. I'd like to apologize to Naseeruddin Shah and Ratna Pathak. I'd like to use this moment that you invited me to your show to apologize to them that they had to leave without speaking. We've just gained from the insights of Naseeruddin Shah. He's such a good actor and thinker. I want to apologize as somebody who lives in Rajasthan, who's been born and brought up in Rajasthan. I want to apologize. This is not what we are.
Right, Ms. Srivastava. We will, of course, also go across to Manish Parekh from BJP, who's joined us over the phone line. Mr. Parekh, thank you for speaking to Mirror Now. But here we see a case where right-wing groups apparently had protested outside that venue of the Lit Fest in Ajmer. And because of security concerns, now Naseeruddin Shah not going to attend that event where he had been invited as a keynote speaker. First, your comments on that, please.
Tanima, nothing to do with BJP's ideology particularly. The first thing is this is a public anger which is just rained out, and the people just shouted. Naseeruddin Shah has been loved so much by the people, and if he is so inferior feeling because of what is in mind, what's the mindset of you've got, so this is the problem. Otherwise, he must go to the venue and he must inaugurate the festival. Why he ran from there? I don't think that it is a kind of thing which BJP can do anything, or the youth people are doing something, or the Kavita Srivastava is just giving some arguments in favor of that. It doesn't mean for that. First of all, thing is, why the Naseeruddin didn't go there? He must be there. He must inaugurate the function, and that things will be common one. If somebody is shouting the slogans there, the things to be done with that. And first of all, they are just making it, increasing the things, that this is some kind of public lynching and all these things are happening in India. Everybody is being supported by the government. This is not fair. Thing is that it is just a public anger against the Naseeruddin Shah in the era of the social media. So I don't think that it's a big thing being done by the people.
Mr. Parekh, please hold on to your thoughts. I'm also joined by Mr. Sanjay Jha of the Congress. Mr. Jha, thank you for speaking to Mirror Now. If I could ask you that it's a Congress government in the state that we have now, and despite that, we have a situation where Naseeruddin Shah is forced not to, he has in fact decided not to go to that event out of security concerns. The Rajasthan police not being able to provide sufficient security to him to attend that Lit Fest in Ajmer. This is not what was expected from the Congress government.
No, let me answer. The question has two parts. The first part is, and the more critical part, the substantive part of this entire conversation is that Mr. Naseeruddin Shah made a statement saying he's worried about the future of his children, or he's worried about the security of his children given the current environment in our country. What you have seen is a backlash against that statement. And I feel, as a huge admirer of Mr. Shah for several years, a fantastic actor, but more important, a very down-to-earth human being. Now, what is he doing? He's expressing a certain fear, a certain apprehension, which has been said in the past and continues to be said about many, many people in our country who are extremely appalled at the way our social climate has got polarized. There's violence. People are, identified by their religion. He mentioned about the Bulandshahr incident. And isn't that a fact? Can anybody deny what he said about the Bulandshahr gruesome killing? How is that not a politically motivated conspiracy? So, can you imagine the right-wing trolls and people from the Hindutva element threatened him? And that fear exists. As far as the event is concerned, yes, it is being held in Rajasthan. Yes, it is the duty of Congress government. But, Mr. Shah has got every right to feel a little worried that are these fanatical people going to come?
Mr. Jha, are you saying, I'm sorry to interrupt you there, but are you saying that he withdrew, that it was not the organizers who asked him not to come? Is it not the Rajasthan police who failed to give him protection to attend that event? Are you saying that it was the actor's choice?
I'm saying if you listen to one of the comments made by the organizers of that event, they said we are very worried about the security of our guests because we don't know what kind of, what can possibly happen. I think as an organizer, if I was an organizer and I felt even if the police are there, and, I do understand that the police have a job to do and they should do it, but if somebody is desperate to create an atmosphere of anger or hate or violence, there's only so much you can do. You don't want to be responsible for exposing a fine distinguished gentleman to physical harm. So I think that, in my opinion, is the real issue. I don't think the Rajasthan government said that we can't provide security. I don't think anybody has heard the Rajasthan government say that. I think the Rajasthan government is not the issue. The issue here is the threat given by fanatical people who belong to the extreme fundamentalist right wing, and the organizers deciding to be cautious. I mean, I don't blame them at all. And I don't think the Rajasthan government said we won't provide you police. I don't think that's the point.
But Mr. Jha, again, another question from my side. The fact is that still the police could have taken more proactive steps. They could have increased the security in that region. They could have gone over there and told the organizers that despite these protests, first of all, when the protests were happening over there, they could have gone over there and immediately put an end to the ruckus that was being caused by the protesters. Was that done? Clearly not, which is why these concerns are being raised by the organizers and Mr. Shah himself. Secondly, they could have ensured that on the day that when Mr. Naseeruddin Shah was expected to attend the event, that security would have been increased. These are some proactive steps which the police could have taken. But we've not seen any proactive effort by the Rajasthan government to ensure that.
Well, I think what could have happened, we are in the world of ifs and buts. The truth is the Rajasthan government at no point has said that they would not provide the maximum potential security to Mr. Shah. The Rajasthan government did not say that, don't hold the event. I'll give you one example. Today, there are people who are organizing an event in Mumbai, where I live, for Kanhaiya Kumar to launch his book From Bihar to Tihar. And it's being organized by the All India Professionals Congress that I'm responsible for. Yesterday, we were told by the Mumbai police that you can't hold the event because of law and order problems. And we said, what is the law and order problem? It's your job, please provide it. And eventually they did. Because, end of day, the bottom line is that you have to ask the police, and if you believe you're going to go ahead with the event, you're going to do that. As organizers of the event, the All India Professional Congress wrote about it, I tweeted about it, I tagged Mr. Devendra Fadnavis, and a lot of people questioned the Mumbai police, saying, come on, that's your job. I mean, that's exactly what needs to be done. The Mumbai police had to, and I'm glad they changed their mind and have said, subject to certain conditions, you can go ahead and hold the event. I think that's exactly what should have happened. I think the organizers, I think the principal thing is the organizers have to take a call because they have a huge moral responsibility as well. I think, when we are talking about the Naseeruddin Shah issue, let's focus on people who create that psychological fear. Let's talk about those who threaten innocent people in India from even expressing themselves. And the kind of threats he has got proves what Mr. Naseeruddin Shah said, that in our country, we're worried because nobody is willing to listen, and there is an atmosphere of intolerance. And that has been established by the right wing I would say, extreme element.
Mr. Jha, my last question to you. As you said that you have made efforts to ensure that the Kanhaiya Kumar event in Mumbai is not cancelled, and that is where the, it's the Maharashtra government, the BJP government in Maharashtra. But that is what I was trying to say, that nobody really expected this to happen in a Congress bastion in Rajasthan now that your government is in place. My last question to you, when we had seen a situation in New Delhi where Carnatic singer T.M. Krishna, his event was cancelled, and later on the Aam Aadmi Party government over there reached out to him and arranged for the event to be held over there. This is, of course, not a similar situation, a lit fest in Rajasthan, which is going on, and he was going to participate over there. But is any measure going to be taken by the Rajasthan government to ensure that there's a safer environment now, and that, comments like these are not going to be entertained to such an extent that people are not being able to attend events in, where they have been invited as a prior guest?
This is that. I mean, I can tell you that, in Rajasthan, the states that we have won, we will see the return of a very vital element that has gone missing the last 4.5 years, which is a climate of tolerance, a climate of respect, the climate of people who are actually not using hate and violence against each other, the way democracy ought to be. And I do wish that, the organizers, raised enough noise to make sure that Mr. Shah would feel secure, and I don't think the security would have ever, is not even the issue here. I think the point is that we will make sure that, and we would like to request through your channel, that any organizers of these events, anytime in the future, if you have any fear, if you feel somebody is trying to intimidate you or frighten you or give you all kinds of hate messages and telling you not to do something, obstructing you, raise the issue, let us know, and the Rajasthan government will definitely do everything possible to make sure that you are not, become a victim of any such threat. And that is our responsibility. And under Mr. Gehlot and Mr. Sachin Pilot, I think you'll see that difference over the coming weeks. So the organizers have a big responsibility here. They should not panic, and they should, completely have faith in the state broad administration.
Mr. Sanjay Jha, thank you so much for speaking to Mirror Now.